Thing. Test. Perfect. Perfect. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yep. Checkity check.
How we doing, Norden and FC Cincinnati land? How we doing? Gary's excited. Little Bryan's excited. I'm excited. Everybody's excited. Well, guys, we're a week away from FC Cincinnati, and it's about time we kick off the first episode of Cincinnati Soccer Talk for the 2022 season. I'm going to double check my audio, so please, if the audio is good, my name is Bryan Weigel. If the audio is bad, it's Brad Weigel. So appreciate all your positives. Guys, welcome here. Very excited to be with you this evening. And if you have any listener questions or anything, please feel free to come up, ask us. Love to talk a little bit about FC Cincinnati going into 2022. But first, to kick off, before we do our staff introductions here, I want to bring on the man, the myth, the legend, one of the godfathers of FC Cincinnati, Chris Marshall. How are we doing?
Oh, we are good.
Come on, everybody,
Out here
give
in
Chris
Norden
love. Is this mine? Thank you.
Out here in Norden land, we are thrilled to have you guys here. This is Grainworks Brewery is our home for all away matches. We do all of our watch parties here for Norden is a kind of a Viking term for north. So we kind of hark from the northern suburbs of Cincinnati. And we started in 2017 with the idea that there was so much incredibly cool things happening down in Clifton and then now in the West End with all the other supporter groups and people get involved with the team. I just had an idea of how can we get the soccer world, all these soccer playing families and people who are passionate about it connected as well to the whole FC Cincinnati movement. And so we started Norden. And this is our 5th year. I think it's our 5th scarf. So we started in 2017. And we just keep growing, having fun. And this is our first time tonight specifically. We have we want to connect the northern suburbs with the neighborhood that TQL's in. So St. Vincent de Paul, they have staff here. They are our charity partner. And every dollar of our auction items tonight goes to St. Vincent de Paul. And 10% of all beer sales. So drinking beer changes the world tonight. 10% of all beer sales as well goes down to St. Vincent de Paul. And we just want to be good neighbors in the West End neighborhood and do what we can for our part since we're there on home matches.
Right. So if you're listening or watching in the crowd here today, what are other ways that you can get involved to support St. Vincent de Paul this evening?
So the best way is we have a split the pot raffle back there. And then we also have 33 raffle items in the back. So basically you can buy your tickets in the back table there. We have everything from like brewery tours. We have lots of bars and restaurants. We've got wine baskets. We've got some special bourbons back there for any bourbon fans. We've got a David Fulcher jersey. We've got lots of FC Cincinnati tickets. Tommy G, our FCC broadcaster, actually donated 4 tickets, kind of a whole experience with a parking pass back there you can bid on. It's a raffle at 8:30. We're going to pull the names for the raffle, but you don't have to be here. If you just put your name on it, we'll tabulate if you are the winner. Those are the big ways. And then besides those 2 ways, you can buy beer and get 10% of all beer sales from Grainworks, which we have our collaboration beer, Norden supporter group collaboration with Grainworks called Helles Real.
It's wonderful.
It's a Helles German lager, and it's our 4th year doing that as well. And you can also become a member. If you're around here, you want to be a part of Norden, we have our brand new scarves for 2022. You can buy them back there. $20 gives you a member for the year, and we'd love to have you around.
Nothing like a scarf that matches your facial hair and your hair. So I'll tell you what,
it well, sir.
I'm a big fan of this scarf. What's his name? Phil? You said
Phil the Viking is our famous mascot.
Awesome. Now, we're talking about Grainworks here and what you can do, on away matches. Where do you guys go before every game, before TQL, West End TQL Stadium?
We've got a home down in the West End as well. We partner with Symphony Hotel, which they actually have a gift card back there too, like a $75 gift card to Symphony. They are right on 14th Street between Washington Park and TQL. We have a beer garden that we put on down there. The chef from Symphony makes our whole food spread. Wow. And then High Grain Brewery is there. They bring beers. And this year, for the first time, Grainworks is putting Helles Real in 16-ounce cans. That is going to be in TQL Stadium. And that will also be at our beer garden. Awesome. We'll have cans of Helles Real from Grainworks down there. And we do, we're known to get a little rowdy, do some singing.
You guys?
Do some singing, do a little chants. And then the march comes right out front, right past us, and we jump right in and head over to the stadium.
Awesome. Now, we have a lot of people listening on our stream tonight. If you can't be here now, but you're available later, what's going on the rest of the evening?
So tonight, we're going to have, again, our raffles going on. We'll pull the names at 8:30. Gary the Lion's going to be here till about 7 o'clock. And then at 7 o'clock, we have 2 of Norden's best. Bofus is going to be playing from 7 to 10. There's 2 of them, so it's basic both of us. That's Bofus. They'll be playing from 7 to 10. And they've got their own, kind of groupie following that's going to be showing up, too.
Nice.
At some point here. So they're going to be playing some tunes, and then we're going to keep drinking beer to make some more money.
How did you and I not think of both us for, both us twins, It's crazy. Well, I appreciate all you do, good sir.
Yeah.
And again, guys, go back, buy raffle tickets, sign up, be a member of Norden. I think that gets you early access into the Bailey.
Yes,
game
absolutely.
days.
You're part of the Incline Collective as well. So you get your Incline Collective, your pass. Your card to get in.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank
thanks
you
for coming, guys.
for
Appreciate
inviting
you.
us, and we look forward to a long, happy year. And it's just
Oh,
it's
it's gonna
10
be a
minutes
good
away.
year.
So I got my wife out here for this. I got the kids out here. We're gonna keep doing it, man. So,
Awesome. Welcome.
appreciate it. All right, guys. Well, thank you all very much, Chris. We'll invite our fourth comrade up here.
Yep.
Jason, thank you very much, Chris. Guys, again, back there, $20 get you the scarf, get you the membership into Norden as well. Get your tickets for the raffle. Some of those special prizes include New Riff Bourbon, another bourbon basket, a Calvin Harris signed ball, tons and tons of FC Cincinnati tickets, David Fulcher Houday jersey, a gift card to the Symphony, La Rosa's and Brad's favorite restaurant, Caruso's gift cards, Grainworks basket, and a bunch of other things, including stuff for the ladies like Sensi. So go back there, get your stuff, and should be a great evening. All right, guys. Well, joining us now, we got our squad up here to kick off the 22 season. But to my right, your left, we're going to welcome in Jeremy Lance. How you doing, pal?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here, back in Westchester, my hometown.
Yeah, man, we're not too far away. What are you drinking tonight?
I'm going with the Hellas Real.
Hellas Real, same here. Of course, I'm Bryan Weigel, the inferior half of my twin brother over here. But very excited to be with you tonight. Our normal host, Boston Razzle Dazzle Brazzle.
Yeah, I'm glad to be up here. This is a bit of a hike. Am I on?
Is he on? Yeah. Talking to the mic there.
It's not enough.
Yeah, I might need to. Yeah,
There
there,
you
we
go.
go. There
Hi,
we go.
Boston has the brand new orange jersey. Can you do a good modeling for us here, Boston? Woo!
Looks nice.
Ladies, he's already taken.
turn
He's
to the
already
side.
taken.
Embossed flag on it. Like it.
And then Jason Ashwood, how you doing there, pal?
Doing good. I'm excited for a season. Good to see all these people out here.
Awesome. Well, we kind of have some changes with Cincinnati Soccer Talk. We've got a lot of new faces this year. Jeremy and Jason joined us kind of towards the end of last year. We got a lot of new faces on the writing staff, so we're hoping to bring you guys a lot of great FC Cincinnati content for the 2022 season. I don't know about you guys, but here we got Gary. We got FCC Gary here.
There
Kids,
he
go
is.
get your pictures with them. So, but before we get into, I guess, the roster so far, guys, it hasn't been the busiest offseason that we've had, but I would say there's
been movement.
There's been movement, but it's been a different feel again. I feel like
movement out.
movement out.
Yes.
That's true.
Big exodus to start it off.
I guess it's been a different feel. I don't know if it's just because, hopefully we're progressing out of this pandemic, and I don't know. I just feel like the club's gravitating again, like uniquely Cincinnati. It reminds me of the first couple of years where people are engaged, people are involved again. I'm just excited to be out here in an event like this,
Yeah, I think fans we're sick of being the last place team and that being our moniker, right? Going to the games, feeling bad, going home. No, COVID's running out. Now it's time to get back out, do stuff again, march again, sing again, and then hopefully a new era hits TQL Stadium and we can watch some wins again. And
Absolutely.
I think that's what we're all hoping and cheering for as we go into the new season. And it's not just us. You take a look at next week, FC Cincinnati plays Austin. And you take a look at Austin's roster, and oh man, I think February snuck up on them too. Like,
Surprised a few clubs.
yeah, this whole early start thing is throwing some teams off. If you remember, FC Cincinnati's been adding players into March, April the last couple of years, so this February thing's a big jolt.
And it's kind of weird too because, well, I don't say weird, but this is the first offseason where we haven't had a labor dispute. So that's kind of nice to have that all baked into the cake this year.
Helps.
Yeah, baseball took that off the plate for us.
Baseball,
Their turn.
the Reds, Lord willing. Oh my goodness, that's funny. All right, guys. Well, I'm sure all y'all have been paying attention throughout the offseason, but let's do a preview here of what faces you guys are going to see, and we're going to start off with the goalkeeper core. You got returning spot starter Kenneth Vermeer. You
Spot
got
starter.
spot starter. We'll call him. You got homegrown player Beckham Sunderland, and then you have first round draft pick, second overall Roman Celentano, and of course, we can't forget the new number 1, Alec Khan. So, Jeremy, of these 4 guys, what do you make of this position group? Is it improved? You hope it's improved? What do you hope to see out of this group?
No, I definitely think it's improved. I think what Khan brings to the side is someone with a little bit more of that MLS experience, a guy who's ready to take that step to be the number 1 starter. And I think, you got to look at the keeper situation. Like everything, it's a long-term it's a long-term process. So Khan's going to have this year to become the guy.
Yep.
And if he doesn't become the guy, you can assure that that's going to be moved number 1 next year when you move Kenneth Vermeer, most likely moves off the books. That's going to open up a lot of space for them to do something there. So this is Khan's chance. This is his chance to make this his club, his spot.
Mm-hmm. And, Boston, there's always been a discussion about how you build a roster. And part of that is young keepers. You need to have at least 1 or 2 young keepers. We have 2. You got Beckham Sunderland, who really hasn't shown his face a bunch outside a couple appearances in the 18 or whatever 23 they call it now. But then you got first overall pick Roman Celentano. So do you think we might see him this year? What's your expectations for that group, those 2?
Yeah, I mean, whether we see him or not depends on injury, in my opinion, because we have 2 veterans. But you're right. I think one of the big questions about FC Cincinnati the last few years is why are we going overseas to Poland and to these countries to find goalkeepers when the number 1 position, I think, for American talent in the last 10 years has been goalkeepers.
Absolutely.
You look at New England's just now going over to Arsenal, and then you've got Columbus's that's already departed recently. And so this is the one field where America's successfully been to go out, find young American goalkeepers and put them in the MLS system, and then, boom, they're going big places after that. So I'm encouraged to see that FC Cincinnati is finally tapping into some of that, and then we can kind of move out some of these unnecessary international roster spots.
Kind of the change of mindset overall is that tapping into the domestic market.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
I could be mean and give you Kenny Vermeer, Jason, but I think we'll gloss over that for right now. Defenders, you have in the left back role, you got Johnny Nelson as well as supposed starter Ronald Matarrita. Then you actually have maybe a right and left back in Zico Bailey, who was kind of one of our starting right backs last year. The center back core, Tyler Blackett, Jeff Cameron, Nick Hagland, Gustavo Vallecilla, and then your right backs, Ray Gaddis and Alvis Powell. So what is the little part of this group that stands out to you as maybe an improvement going into 2022?
I mean, I don't know much about him, but I did see that Ray Gaddis did put in a lot of time in the preseason. Mm-hmm. And that is one player that I think has an opportunity to really step up. That is a position we've kind of had a little bit of worry about in previous seasons. But I'm also glad to see Alvis Powell back. I mean, he does it for Jamaica when he's on the field internationally. I think, with the new regime in, he did it well. He played well in Philadelphia as well. So I think him coming back with Ray Gaddis, maybe we're going to solidify that back line a little bit more.
And they both offer something different. Ray Gaddis, he got up in the one game we saw in preseason. Thank you, FC Cincinnati, for streaming.
Absolutely.
Thank you, FC Cincinnati, for streaming a preseason game. Yes. Yes. No, they do offer something different. Ray Gaddis is more of a stay-at-home defender, where Alvis Powell is not going to be afraid to get up there. So, that move in the roster build makes a ton of sense. I always say in all these preview shows that we do the circuits on before the year, if you would have told me we'd have signed Ray Gaddis last year, I think I would have been over the moon. Mm-hmm. I think, a consistent starter in the league, a lot of great experience. And, he sat out last year, retired, but I'm very hopeful out of that role. On the other side, I guess we could say the left backs, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Johnny Nelson's been hurt in the preseason. Zico Bailey saw some time, but I think if there's one name on this roster that's in Sharpie marker, it's Ronald Matarrita, outside of maybe Lucho Acosta.
Yeah, and he's had his critics last year, but I still think he's going to give you great MLS level, solid production week in and week out.
Sure,
I think it's his.
Well, and of course we saw it last year. He also provided that added little spark of offensive creativity.
Gary's
I know Gary.
Getting a good scene.
I like Gary over here. I wish I could get the camera on you, Gary. No, I'm excited for that role. I'm really excited to see what the Ohio boy Johnny Nelson brings in that group.
There he is.
There's John. Or there's Gary.
Get
Yep.
him into the there you go. Hey, now we're in the shot.
There we go. We
Now
got
we're
the
in
shot. We got the shot. There we go. There we go.
That's the screen cap for the YouTube.
It's
Yeah.
gonna have to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to be. I love it. All right, now Boston. Of course, this is the group that really didn't change much. Your center back groups. You had Gustavo Viacia, U22 player, who I would say impressed. Had a couple moments where he was a little scary,
We're good.
but he did okay. Tyler Blackett played very well, especially when we saw Jeff Cameron go out to injury. Jeff Cameron, of course, the U.S. men's national team legend's back. Hopefully we can keep his back healthy, and we'll see him at least in 25 games. Surprise name, we brought back Nick Hagelin. So
Yeah.
what do you make of that group, and how surprised were you when we saw the announcement for Nick?
I think the theme for this year with the defense is consistency. They brought in some pieces, but mainly you're going to see a core here that's going to return and played last year, and they're going to work together to kind of, with the new goalkeeper, to kind of come up with a new system. I'm actually not super against that. Yes, FC Cincinnati has had a rough go of it defensively. Yes, they've allowed a lot of goals. But when it comes to the more successful units around the league, and you look at them, you see a lot of returning players, a lot of teams that have minutes together. They know what each other are going to do. When it comes to defense, you're looking at a system of trust. The goalkeeper needs to have great communication with the men in front of him, and those guys need to know what each other are doing. And I think that combined with a new coaching staff will make a big difference for the defense this year.
And you mentioned it earlier when you talked about will people see the field. This year we actually have the U.S. Open Cup, and we actually have the Leagues Cup, I believe, this year. But we have extra games, so it's going to be very important that those center backs get time on the field and are having that good communication with the goalkeeping core, because they are going to see the pitch, whether it's Cameron, getting up there in age and maybe going down with an injury. We hope not, but also you're going to have games that the starters are not going to start this year.
And another name I did mention in the center back core is super draft pick Ian Murphy. So don't know if he's going to be signed. Hopefully we're going to be hearing some more about that later in the year, or later in the week. But he did seem to play well in the preseason, so looking forward to that. A hot topic this week on social media, guys, was the, I guess, negative XG for the goalkeeping unit that we had last year. And in all the shows we've talked about,
This is
a lot
new information to me.
New
we didn't do well in the goalkeeping department.
didn't do well in the goalkeeping department.
That
Okay,
graph was
all right.
but
that changes
a little
things.
much.
But a lot of people also said, "Oh, your defense is terrible." I wouldn't put our defensive group as a bottom third in the league. I mean, yeah, your right back situation's a little uncertain, but
Pound for pound, talent for talent. No, you wouldn't.
yeah, I agree. I think this group is actually probably one of the stronger units, if not in the Eastern Conference, at least maybe in the top half.
I'll put it this way: when the ball doesn't make it too far past the midfield, you're asking a lot of your defenders, and I think the FC Cincinnati defenders last year took a little bit too much time on the pitch. That they were the focus. The ball was always with them. So
Always coming down their throat.
So you're going to look a lot worse when that's the case.
Yeah,
So the big key for this year has got to be the midfield, right?
exactly. See, that's what we call a segue right there. This is a
Look at this guy.
professional.
Look at this guy.
This is a professional.
He
up
read
here.
the notes.
He did. All right. The midfield, normally this is your largest position group in the roster, but we right now I think have 6, maybe 7, depending on how Coach Noonan fills out his roster. But you have Luciano Costa. I'm going to put him in this group, Alvaro Barreal. Then you have 2019 MVP Alan Cruz, Calvin Harris, Yakubo, Harris Medunanan, and Ben Mines. Not mentioned in that position group also are unsigned academy players. We're going to see how this shakes out. But you have Harrison Robledo, who played, I think, in almost every preseason match. And then youngster, 14, 15-year-old Steven Jimenez. So, guys, let's not beat around the bush here. Boston, we got a big hole in that number 6 still going into this year. Are you really afraid that that's not going to be filled, or are you comfortable? Okay, it's our first game's going to be the end of February, so we got March, April, May, June comes open. The window comes open. Can we last a couple months?
We're going to have to, because it's going to be filled. It's just going to be filled on the correct financial timing, not necessarily the fans want him now timing. So that's where I think that's where FC Cincinnati is at. this team's been very reactionary.
Sure.
Oh no, we're losing. Let's go grab a player. Oh no, we're losing. Let's go grab a player. And now it's more of a pause. Let's figure out what we actually need. Get that one or two persons in here until next year when we can do a little bit more. We have a little bit more roster budget. And FC Cincinnati just doesn't have the room for a mistake. They have to sign the correct number 6.
I kind of chalk this 6 up to a discussion we had when in 2020 we were looking for attacking players. We didn't get our number 10, so we brought in Sem Young. We were still suffering for wingers, so we literally brought in a gun for hire, Adrian Regatin, and he was gone 3 months of the year. So new staff, new coach. As much as I want somebody in there, I think
culture, hopefully.
New culture, exactly. Harris Medunanen's a great leader. I think he's well respected on the roster. If we can keep
few miles on those tires.
If we can keep him healthy and get out of the point defense that we're used to him doing a little bit, I think we can be okay. So the biggest change between last year and this year, we had kind of playing that 4-3-3. Now we're in that 4-4-2 diamond, we'll say. So you have a 6 at the D mids, you have 2 shuttler 8s, and then you have the 10 up top. So in those shuttler roles, we got Yuya Kubo, Jason. You got Yuya Kubo, you got Alan Cruz. Again, maybe not the best group, but maybe add Alvaro Barrial. Is this are you afraid? Do you think it's okay? Well, what's your initial reactions to that group?
I wouldn't say I'm afraid by any stretch. I think, like Jeremy mentioned, pound for pound, it's a decent MLS lineup. But the thing is, as we saw in the preseason, Yuya Kubo played pretty well.
Yeah.
And he's very adaptable. And he's been playing out of position for at least a year.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen him have that ability when he gets open to kind of take a good shot from outside the 18. I think that's one of the things that's been missing from FC Cincinnati for a while is you maybe only have one scoring threat. If you can get Lucho up there with Brenner and now maybe Kubo, that's going to spread out the defense a little more and open you up to more scoring opportunities. So I wouldn't say I'm scared. I'm still a little concerned, but with Yuya up there, I think we're going to be fine.
And this kind of goes back to what we just talked about a minute ago. If we had a solid 6 back there shielding the defenders, I would feel a lot better in those 2 roles because literally you saw it in the Noonan video. We had a story written out on CincinnatiSoccer.com. It's about getting the ball to the next player in the right spots. Luciano Acosta. To me, Jeremy, I still think he's at least a top 10 creator in this league if he gets the ball in the right spots, can pick his head up and get the ball to his forwards.
Yeah, if he's given service, if he's in a system that makes sense, yes, I think he can do a lot for this team, and they're going to need him to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think he's definitely going to be a linchpin there because I think he's going to be one of the positions that doesn't change a lot. I think we're going to see a lot of rotation, a lot of trying stuff until we figure out that 6, until we get that person in.
Yeah.
There's going to be some movement as far as who's going to be starting in those other midfield positions.
And we keep talking about a hole in the 8, or hole in the 6. We'd like another 8. Boston, there's not much depth behind Lucho. If he goes down, that could be a big issue for the Cincinnati squad.
Yeah, he's a linchpin. And that's the thing with this club. I think you're going to see they've done a lot of depth rebuilding, but it's going to take time to get a lot of these youngsters in there. And if the moment happens where it happens, then you're going to see some of these draft picks come in. And maybe sooner than you would on any other team, but that's what happens when you're in the situation where FC Cincinnati has taken some of their veterans, moved them out, and brought them in with academy kids and draft picks.
And another name we haven't talked about who we all were super excited for last year, Alvaro Barrial. Maybe he's a fill-in for that 10 role or a forward later in the year. So forwards, guys, the big difference this year is getting Brenner actual help, not just hero ball into Brenner or him dropping deep. We brought in Don Baji.
Please, no more hero ball.
Yeah, no more hero ball. No more. And honestly, I think you've seen the videos, you've heard from the players. There seems to be a defined offensive methodology going into this year, and we'll see it this week versus Austin. But you got Don Baji, who we might not see right away. You have Brandon Vasquez, who I think was probably our best player down the stretch. Am I wrong there?
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong at all.
You got new green card holder Brenner. So woohoo! And then of course you have Kimi Ordonez, and then Isaac Atonga and draft pick Nick Markanich, who they're saying could be signed early next week. So, guys, there's a lot of width in this group. I guess I'll kick it over to you, Jeremy, and we'll go to Boston. Do you think this could be an evolving group as the year goes on? I mean, we got a lot of money in that group and only 2 spots.
Right. You also have these wingers that, like, where are you putting these guys? So that obviously that's a position you'd throw them into. Listen, it's all going to come down to who's going to just partner with Brenner.
Mm-hmm.
Brenner's going to be one of the people that's already on that position.
Sure.
So it's who are you putting with him? Who can work with him? And who can get the best out of him? Because we saw last season a large investment by this club produce very little, but he was not put in a position to produce very much.
Well, you'd hope too. Boston's like with Brenner. You saw teams last year just double mark Brenner. Either a D mid or the 2 center backs just keying on him, and you have somebody clear out Lucho, and that was the FC Cincinnati attack.
Yep.
I mean, I think so far I've liked what I've seen out of Vasquez. I'm very hopeful what I've seen out of Baji, but I think you got to see 15 goals out of this group at least for this year. I mean, we've been
bare minimum.
Yeah. Our
out of the group,
our
I need like an
expectations-
individual to get 15
our
goals.
expectations are
15 goals
so
out of
low.
Brenner is what you're hoping for.
Yeah.
Our expectations are so low, but but I'm hopeful. It's like it's a weird feeling this year. Like I feel like it's an incomplete unit, but I'm kind of jiving to this
Culture.
Yes,
culture,
culture.
right? That's what we're looking
Holy.
for, right?
I was asked that this week on a show. What culture do you have? I'm like,
A better one.
yeah,
Or possibly just one in general, because I don't know if there was one previously.
yeah.
Now look at just the feel coming out of preseason. I think they're in a much better place, more confident place. You have to shed that losing mentality.
Yep.
And the players have to be the first ones to shed it and to make the fans believe, and then the fans will start to shed it, and then it just domino effects from there.
Mm.
But going back to your Brenner conversation, Nate Gilman probably put out one of the best articles of the offseason on our website about this Brenner-Vasquez partnership. And if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's in-depth. It's kind of what the pure soccer nerd would like to read. And it's absolutely amazing. And it's on our website, CincinnatiSoccerTalk.com. But Nate kind of breaks down how Vasquez and Brenner can help each other out. And Brenner was one of the most highest-rated forwards last season for being way too far back. And that is kind of why you saw lower production out of him. When he's going back to help the defense and to get that, he's basically playing a midfielder. Then by the time he does get the ball, who's he going to turn and shoot it to? Like right at the end of the season, we saw he was just basically like, here you go, Brandon. But
he needs to be someone that's receiving it in the box and just taking a shot.
Yeah.
Our friend and co-host Jeff Tebbets just chimed in on our social media chat saying 15 out of the group. I want to see at least 20, 10 plus from Brenner, 5 plus a piece from Vasquez and Baji. And again, add a little bit in there.
Doable.
Add a little Atonga magic in there too. I think it's absolutely possible. Guys, overall, I want to give you guys, hopefulness or what's your, the biggest key in this group and the biggest change kind of going into this year. I'll start with you, Jeremy. What do you make of this roster, and what are you what position or person are you most excited to see coming out of that?
I'm excited for the collective. Not only, the big thing is going to be how they're going to get through this period. We talked about it. When they get that 6, how long is that going to be? Is it going to be the summer window? Are we waiting that long? How many matches are they going to have to make it work? And given that pressure, can this new culture, this new system, can it produce results even in non-ideal circumstances, which is how most MLS seasons go for most teams? And the good ones, the good systems, the good cultures, they find a way through it. And that's going to be key for me. So I don't know if there's an individual player. I think this could be Yuya's year. I want it to be Yuya's year. I'm putting money on it. This is Kubo time.
I said that last year, man. I swore. I said he was going to be my MVP.
Hopefully I didn't jinx it like you did last year. Hopefully I got better juju. We're good.
No, we need those guys to honestly make it sure the money up front gets the ball. So I 100% agree with you when it comes to that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me, I'm most looking forward to Brenner if I'm going to single out a single player, because we've seen time and time again these big money foreign players come in, struggle their first year, and then absolutely tear it up year 2, year 3. I'm hoping that's the case with Brenner, and with the new culture and the new style, and getting him this kind of service he needs, putting him in positions to score. He's the one player I'm most looking forward to, but I'm also looking forward to a positive attitude. You look at the schedule coming right out of the gate, there are 3 or 4 winnable games
absolutely.
right out of the gate. If this team can get off on the right foot, pick up a point here or there, I think the sky's the limit. I mean, we're obviously not MLS Cup sky, but really getting a much improved
A good
record
step forward.
Yeah, and getting the fans more engaged.
Yep.
I think they can really come out of the gate hot.
The other great thing about Major League Soccer is that you can kind of, like, if FC Cincinnati wins a few coming out of the gate, they can actually afford to have a slowdown right after that. I hate to say it, but the way Major League Soccer works, it's all about what happens that summer run onward.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they could have a slowdown because there won't be a baseball season, and then we have no other options.
Yeah, that's for the fans. Fans' options might be limited this summer.
Oh, shoot.
But no, I think FC Cincinnati has a chance to kind of rebuild in that summer window if they need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they'll be all right because whatever happens right before that traditionally hasn't mattered on your playoff run.
I don't want to judge Chris Albright too soon.
Uh-oh. But here you are judging.
But here I am judging. It's the point of this deal.
No offense. But
I was very, very, very happy with the job he was doing, going, kind of the first couple weeks of January with the right moves. I think he's done an amazing job clearing out cap space, getting creative, bringing guys back on cheaper contracts. I think so far I'm much more impressed with how he's managed the cap this year than any time previously by night camp. But
it's almost as if he had experience in
almost.
dealing with
He knew the
MLS.
rules.
And weird.
It's weird. That's all like night camp play Monopoly. You just doesn't know the rules. Oh, shoot. So far, been on the job for 4.5 months. Who wants to kick this one? I will give it to you, Jason.
Oh, boy.
Has this preseason been a failure? Is it too soon to judge? What's your confidence level?
It's too soon to judge. If I were to give him an early grade, I'd probably give him a C+. I mean, he's done an adequate job of freeing up cap space, as you mentioned. I think the thing is he's not going to make a panic buy. We saw that with our previous GM. We need to fill this position. Let's just go out and get somebody and throw a ton of money at him. That isn't going to pan out. He knows MLS and he understands the roster rules. He understands just the sheer quirkiness of the league. And so I think it's a little too early to judge. I think he's done a decent enough job so far, but I really would like to see that 6 come to fruition sooner rather than later.
I'm glad you said panic buy because this week is the week where a lot of teams are having to crunch getting players in, getting their 30 decided or their 28 decided, and you're seeing names that will come up, that will be available. Case in point, Joe Corona today is going to be bought out by the Houston Dynamo. Is he a 6? No. Is he a guy who can maybe play it? Is he a guy who can certainly play the 8? We're first in the waiver wire. Yeah, we're probably going to put a bid on him. But that, if he could bring in a guy like that, I think you're like, holy cow, that's a hell of a move.
What would you have to pay him?
Well, so according to the rules per Brad and MLS.com is you put in a bid essentially. So the waiver process works for everybody. It's not like the MLB waivers where you just say, no, I want that guy.
Yeah.
You basically put in a bid for a guaranteed player's price.
You all say what you'll do, and then Houston has to pay the difference.
Yep. So say if he makes $500K a year, FC Cincinnati goes, I want to pay $100K. Columbus Crew goes, I want to pay $125K. Columbus Crew gets him. But if Columbus and FC Cincinnati say we want to pay the guy $100K, it goes to Cincinnati because we're hiring the waiver.
Yeah.
So please get him. Cross my fingers. Love to see Joe Benny Corona in camp.
Now you were baiting our poor co-host here, but
yes, I was.
I honestly think like the response to you back is, what are you talking about? They didn't lose a game in preseason.
Hell yeah.
So FC Cincinnati does look
worst to first, baby.
You know what caught my eye was a lot of the comments that the Nashville coach was throwing out there after the Nashville match in the preseason game. He said our young talent against his starters was absolutely frustrating because he was flabbergasted that they could not hold their own. And he said FC Cincinnati's kids are like fired up down there in Florida, are playing really, really well, and his guys just kind of went into it like, man, preseason game. And he's trying to figure out how to get his team motivated.
Well, we'll see when we can sign those guys because hopefully it's sooner than later. You guys have any other thoughts on Albright before we head into our thanking our patrons?
I'm still optimistic.
All right.
Still optimistic.
Optimistic, hopeful. I feel a lot better than I feel like I should.
The moves make sense for the most part. They have also not been these moves where it takes, we talked about it before. So we make a panic buy, we bring somebody in, but we're bringing somebody in that we have to then we need an international spot.
Yep.
So we got to go over here. So now we're taking allocation money, we're giving it to this. We're doing all these other things that makes this simple panic buy, which is still not a good thing to do. And we've now made it even more
exacerbated. Yeah, like the Adrian Regaton move, he's going to make $300,000 plus $250. You got to sell or to buy. Great point there, Jeremy.
No, we finally might get to the position where we use allocation money on player salaries instead of trades. Like,
novel concept.
Blow your mind,
Yeah.
but that's been the big difference.
Novel concept. All right, guys. Well, again, if you're new to Cincinnati Soccer Talk, please feel free to get involved with us. Go tweet us at Cincy, CINCY Soccer Talk on Twitter. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We will most likely be going live Monday nights throughout the season. This upcoming week, we have a little bit of a weird week with the show. We should have a rock star guest this week, but also Brad is going to be having a wonderful show with former CST, FC Cincinnati great Mike LaHood and Adrian Healy are going to be on March to Match Day this week with Brad. Coach Brad Goff and Justin Hoyt are going to be recording on Monday, so that'll be out, I'm guessing, late Monday, early Tuesday. So please check us out on Cincinnati Soccer Talk on all of our awesome social media feeds and as well as our podcast feeds, Spotify, all those.
Adrian Healy, big Bengals fan, though.
Is he really?
Real strong.
Yeah.
His son's into. His son was like, they move over here. So his son got into him, and so he is a Bengals fan.
I would have never thought.
Yeah.
So of course, this show we have some great sponsors. Suero X. Make sure to hydrate, especially when it gets to the dog days of summer. Make sure to get the new Suero X, 0 sugar, 0 calories, the power of 8 ions to speed your recovery time. Keep up your body hydrated and balanced. That stuff's really great, especially pre-game before the U.S. men's national team game. Had a couple of those.
I survived that day because of that.
Because of Suero X. Of course, we also I'll let Boston handle this since he's so good with the names.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely famous for it.
Here we go.
But,
hopefully those people are here.
Yeah, I think a lot of them are here. I've talked to a few people out there that support CST.
So if you hear your name horribly mangled here in the next couple seconds.
That's right. Just stand up and actually you could come up and correct me
your
for the
hand.
first time.
That's me.
But no, these are the people that keep CST going. They allow us to get the equipment like this to come out here and do these shows, so we appreciate it. Ree Lee, John Davidson, Mike Hudson, Robert Stevens, Laurel Failer, Matthew Adamczyk, Buddy Taylor, Riley Stephen Burke, James Denbro, Tom Newhouse, Brian Weigel, Brian Gillis, Dan Alberts, Will Kolachek, Ian Rexroad, Augustus Caceres, Bill Antonitis, Carl Feit, Jeremy Schran, Kyle Pohl, Christina Sharma, Rupesh, I saw you up there, buddy.
Rupesh.
He's here.
Mike
He's
Hudson,
definitely here.
Tom Bezeldorf, Jason, who is super average, John Haskell, Ryan Ernst, Mary Lou, Rob Pierce, also here, Clifford Adams, Thomas Sepp, Pierce Johnson, Mike Prentice, Mr. and Mrs. Wiederhold, Rob Gassell, Bradley Weigel, Kevin Day, you're brand new, Jamie Smed, welcome back, you're
Jamie.
brand new. Yeah, that's an old school name right there. And Paul Hedker.
Paul Hedger, I saw him too.
He's out there. All three brand new. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. If you guys, if you're able to, we do have a great host of writers as well as some editors that we love to keep around. So if you have the ability to go on our Patreon, we appreciate that. This is a labor of love, but we appreciate all your help.
We just brought a new writer on this week.
We did
From 10 years at Top Drawer Soccer.
Oh yeah,
How's that for a resume?
We have a new writer, Rob from Top Drawer Soccer, and then we have FCC Grayson, 13-year-old wonderkind, we'll call him. So excited to get him involved. We got about 20 more minutes of our show here. Talked about the players a lot, but guys, let's kind of go towards. Okay, we talked about how great we had of a preseason. Now, what to expect this week down in Austin? Our starting lineup this past weekend in Orlando was a 4-4-2 diamond. You had Nick Markinich up top with Brandon Vasquez. You had Lucho Acosta in that 10 role. Then you had Alan Cruz, Yuya Kubo in the 8s. Slightly below them, Harris Medunanen, left back Ronald Matarita, Tyler Blackett, Jeff Cameron, center backs, Ray Gaddis in the right, and Alec Khan. I got to talk to somebody
I
about
believe it's Khan.
Khan.
yeah.
Wrath
Yes,
of Khan.
Wrath of Khan.
Wrath of Khan. So, guys, I'll start with Jason. Do you think how close do you think that's going to be for the 11 you see down in Austin this week?
With a few exceptions, I think it's going to be pretty close. I'm interested to see if Alec Khan is the starting goalkeeper on day one.
He better be.
Yeah. And also I think you're going to see maybe a little movement there with Harris, just because of the age factor. I don't know if he's going to be a starter every day, but he might be our day one starter. And of course, you're hoping, I don't know if he's going to be here, but Brenner will be the starting.
Yeah, I would.
So
bet
Brenner
on-
is
bet on
here.
that.
Brenner
Okay,
is
great.
in town.
So-
Brenner and
I still
Alvaro
would bet
Barra
on
are both
Yeah.
in town.
So maybe
With a
he
green
starts.
card?
With
Good?
green cards.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yes, he was
So
in
he'll-
a little.
But he probably won't start though, right?
I can't imagine, but
If he
Unless
does,
he's
it's
been
going to
like
be
just working out.
I mean, yeah, I
down
don't
south.
know.
60
It
minutes
kind of
sub.
comes down to what his fitness level is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would expect to see him off the bench. That's my
Okay.
fortune
Okay.
ball.
so a little quick rundown here. Brandon Vescas has been starting nearly every game
Yeah.
down there, so I would think he's probably sharpied in. Don Baji's getting back. Brenner, Barrial. I mean,
so who are you putting up with Vasquez then? Because the guy that started against
Markovich,
Atlanta,
yeah,
he's
it's
not-
possible.
yeah, well, if you sign him,
yeah.
you got to sign him
Yeah.
this week,
That's
right?
time I think he's had a goal or two, and he's been one of the names where you've heard it repeatedly
Yes.
in the interviews you've had with Pat Noonan that he's impressed. So
And against Orlando, he's the guy that fired on the goal first, right? And then the goal came from his rebound.
and the other name up
I
there,
think so, yeah.
you could have Kimi Ordonez. I think he's a guy you bring off the bench. It's kind of refreshing, okay? And I apologize if this is kind of bizarre, but Kimi Ordonez was always a forward in the academy system, and he played like left back last year, and now he's back in up front. A name
It
we
was a
haven't.
system that also had Nick Hagelin playing right back. So I
There
mean,
you
things
go.
got weird.
Things 2021, it got weird.
Yep.
Also, a name we didn't really talk about, Calvin Harris, Isaac Katanga. I think those are all different names that you could see. They all offer a little something different, but I mean, outside of this 11, I think it's pretty close.
I have a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
You sold me this offseason.
Zico Bailey now?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is this Zico Bailey stand time?
No. This is. I was sold the 4-2-2 diamond wasn't going to work because we don't have a 6 argument.
Oh,
And
we have
then-
too many wingers argument.
And then when we went out against Orlando, I saw this and I said, you know what? I listened to these guys. I went on Reddit and act like I knew what I was talking about this all season. I said, I was like, no, we ain't playing the 4-2-2 diamond, not yet. Maybe later in the year, and we're going to come out with the 4-2-2
It's
diamond.
possible. It's possible. We'll see what happens. And the one thing I want to see out of our team, guys, is we gave up so many. Well, I say whenever we had the lead, we gave it up.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think there's like 4 or 5 games where we had a 2-goal lead last year. I want to see more of a pragmatic approach, and I think this is a group that, in theory, could go out and do it. I mean, drop them.
That's a mentality. That's a mindset. Again, it goes back to culture, right?
Yeah, we heard
If you have a
last
good
year.
culture, you don't fall. You don't start hanging your head. You don't give up a goal. You hang your head, and everyone starts clapping, and then the game just kind of goes from there.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this group. There's still a lot of the same pieces from last year, but I am excited to see what Coach Noonan puts into the group, especially in terms of closing out games last year. We heard it from Jeff Cameron. We've heard it from our interim head coach last year, Tyron Marshall. Guys who do different things. Like when you're trying to close out a game, you have some guys pressing, you have some guys dropping back another 5 yards.
There wasn't one
Yep. So
continuous thought of
Yeah,
what
no
this is what we're doing.
cohesive game plan.
Exactly.
Trying
And
to close out games.
And that's something that, as a listener, as a general fan, to look out for, kind of going in this
Yeah,
week.
even if we lose, are we playing a system here that is going to being built for the long term?
Do you feel like you're in it? It's one thing to lose. It's another thing to lose and feel like you have no chance of even being competitive. And unfortunately, I think last year especially, there were several games where, and the year before, where FC Cincinnati would get behind and you're just kind of like, well.
Yeah. Especially
it's
on the
over.
road.
Yeah.
When they got behind on the road, you were like, all right, well, what else do I got going on today?
Yeah.
And you knew how it was going to get.
Absolutely. So if you can have you're going to lose more road games than win road games. That's just the nature of MLS. But if you're on the road at least looking competitive, I think that's going to make a lot of us smile a little bit this year.
Yeah.
Real quick aside, Jeff Cameron, how many minutes is he going to be able to put together this year?
So, I mean, he played in 40 some odd plus games last year.
Yeah, and he was coming fresh off of a
Yeah.
championship season. I
Yep.
mean, he was.
Yeah, that's exactly
Where
so,
you're getting beat up every week.
Yeah.
I think, we were all kind of on the fence to see, okay, are we gonna re-sign Viacia to that U22 contract?
Right.
Again, like I think those 3 center backs plus Hagelin, I think a lot of teams would be pretty happy with that group going into this year.
I think so. Yeah.
Real quick, guys, we went 3-0-2 in the preseason, which I don't think we've had a preseason that good since 2018 maybe.
Everybody knows preseason's all that matters.
Preseason's all that matters, especially
Win
when
the
you're
preseason.
sitting watching a game versus Sac Republic.
One camera.
Wins versus St. Louis FC, who's an MLS next squad. You had a win versus USF, and then a 120-minute win versus Nashville, which is a 90-minute draw. Felt okay. I think that's how it was, right?
Yep.
And then, of course, you had draws versus Orlando, which, again, we gave up a last-second goal, and then a draw versus Philadelphia. So I think I said it earlier. It feels different. Is this the best you felt, knowing we still have holes, I guess, is that caveat?
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the record, honestly.
Okay.
It's more to do with a vision for the future and a plan, and knowing that this is the last year we have dead money on the roster, hopefully. So we've got a team in place that's going to come in and do some more stuff in the offseason. So this year's all about getting the most we can out of this group of guys, which I think you can get. I was talking to Pat over there from the Inquirer a little bit earlier just about this, but last year we still had a group of guys that you're wondering to yourself, how are we not getting more out of this group? Like, you still had some really talent there. So I think this year's all about squeezing that out, and I feel really good about coming out of preseason.
These rosters have never lacked talent over the years. There's been some guys that you maybe question how many minutes they should get, but it's never lacked. You've never sat there and be like, I don't even know who any of these guys are.
Yeah.
Can they play them? That's never been the case for the roster. It's been, can they play together? Can they fit in a system? Can they keep that mentality to keep fighting? And every other year it's been ultimately no was the answer. I feel super optimistic about this one.
Awesome. Well, we got about 10 minutes left in the show here, guys. Please make sure to go sign up for Norden. It's $20. Get your membership. Get your awesome scarf with a ginger, bearded, beautiful man on it. So Phil, thank you very much.
And don't put any more raffle tickets in the new riff bag because I want to win that.
Yeah,
there you go.
Take some out and let him.
Also, we got Big Dog's Pizza outside, and it smells wonderful. I think I see it on almost every table. But my goodness, I kind of want to take a box home. Please, Lucy, let us do that. So, guys, go check it out. Go get some Hellas Real. Got a great night ahead for you down here at Grainworks, and I said down here, up here in Westchester Liberty Center area. So it's a great area.
Way up here for me.
Well, see, you're complaining about that, but I had to go out to Beachmont like 5 times, pal. Come on now. All right, so we got again, as I said, Brad will have a March to Match Day this week with Mike LaHood and Adrian Healy. I'm sure they'll talk a bunch about Austin FC, but this is a team, I don't know if we'll call it a wooden spoon or something, or spork or whatever, but this is a team I think most people will finish dead last, if not in the bottom 3.
Are we talking about the team where the coach said we're screwed?
Oh,
no, that's Charlotte. Okay. I'm talking about in the West.
You're not far off.
Not far off. Yeah,
we play them like 5th.
You're not far off. They're
Can we play them 8 times?
How is it fair we had to play Columbus and Nashville or 3 times? How's that fair? All right, so we're going down to Austin. We're going down to Matt McConaughey, Verde, weird drumming, slick back hair town, built on a landfill.
It's that loogie look, that wet loogie look.
The wet loogie look. Again, a team that did have 8 wins last year, but this is also a team that couldn't see out any games. 4 draws, 8 wins, 4 draws, 21 losses. A tough year for them. They have a very exciting fan base. They got a couple really young, exciting attacking players in the midfield in Cecilio Dominguez, Sebastian Drisi. But they did have some struggles in that midfield. They brought in Johan Valencia to kind of shield that midfield, that 6 role. Who are you guys most excited to see? There's exciting pieces. Maxia Rudy's coming in there. You have Alex Ring, who's now a DP. Any of you guys want to take? What are you excited to see out of Austin, and what can we is this a must win or is this a bunker and try to get one out? I guess I'll give that to you, Jason.
I would like to see us come away. I mean, if we can come away with a draw, I'll be super happy. I'm most excited to see from them, how they're kind of like us. How did they rebound from last year? And, I'm a big Alex Ring fan. I'm a big Maxi Rudy fan. And I know it's kind of maybe sacrilege to say that I was kind of an Austin fan in a way last year. Wanting to see them do well because they are the only major league team in the city.
I just get excited about new teams, new logos, new things like that.
Yeah, and I love the thing they do when they score a goal and they have the green light. I'm here for that. I just hope they don't have it, this coming next weekend.
Yeah, that stadium's cool enough that it sucked me down. I'm going down there next.
Yeah, I'm jealous of your trip. I actually booked a hotel and then decided the better of it for my wallet and canceled the hotel. But yeah, I'm just excited to see soccer live, domestic soccer again. So
yeah, and not delayed. So this season is going to be different because you're going to have, literally versus having, I think we had like 8 midweeks or some crazy condensed schedule last year. This is going to look fairly normal. Yeah, we're starting a week or two earlier because of the World Cup in the winter, but I am excited to see it. About 5 minutes to go here, guys. Let's jump back into the East. I'm going to have all three of you guys plus me. What team are you most excited to see in the Eastern Conference this year, Jeremy?
Ooh, in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, in the Eastern Conference. The teams that we'll see. Are you excited that Bob Bradley?
Terrible.
Charlotte.
By the way, what I'm looking forward to on Austin, Anthony Precourt. That's what I'm looking to see. His big dumb face.
Just waiting for the press box shot or the owner box shot with the camera pan.
Is he even going to be
there? Does he show up or is he still in the Bay Area?
No. He lives in San Fran,
he didn't like flying into Columbus. I would imagine he doesn't like flying in there.
That's funny. All right, so let's go back to the Eastern Conference. We're kicking off the season with the Western Conference team. There's been a lot of changes. You have the NYCFC squad who won the 2021 MLS Cup. You got Columbus Crew, who had a really tough year. They're hoping with the same pieces, essentially, to get back to the promised land. Toronto FC, DC United, sold Paul Arriola.
Toronto will be interesting. They threw some money around.
They do that about every 3 or 4 years. Toronto comes in swinging. You
have Shaqiri in Chicago. That's who I'm excited to see. I really like. I want us to be like tight with Chicago, like how almost like hate Chicago, kind of like how we hate Nashville a little bit. Like it's weird with Columbus because we kind of some of us like them. Apologize.
At one point in time in our life, we all make mistakes.
We all make mistakes.
We all do things in college we're not proud of. Guys. One of them is maybe liking the Crew.
Yeah. There you go.
No, but I'm with you on Chicago. They're probably the team that I'm looking forward to the most out of the East, and that's a city if they can get it going there. And I've always felt like if Chicago could really get a good team and get the city behind it, that could be soccer.
And they're playing downtown.
Yeah.
So I think they could. It's a city that needs that. The league needs their big cities to have good buzz around them. It's helpful.
I think the Crew are beatable this year.
Yeah.
New England, I think, was going to take a step back only because they're doing this weird, let's go find retro U.S. men national team players and try to fit it in here. So
old players.
Yeah, Bruce Arena's tapping into he's getting Josie from Toronto. And I think Toronto's going out upgrading the future. New England's upgrading for the
win it now mentality.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all works out. But we're going to find out real quick where FC Cincinnati stands once we start playing the Phillies and the New Englands and the New Yorks.
Sure. I think today I saw something like the Red Bulls lost 8-1 or 6-1 or something to LAFC. So
that's not good.
That's not good. Frankie Amaya. Poor Frankie Amaya. I'm just so beat up about Frankie Amaya.
R.I.P.
Poor guy. Just wish the world for
that was LAFC.
Big Rams fan. That Frankie
somebody
Amaya,
did it.
by the way.
Big Rams fan, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, man. All right, guys. This is, I would say, if you guys you kind of said earlier, games you're mostly looking forward to this year. What game are you, kind of circling? For me, Nashville. Want to beat Nashville. Want to shut those guys up.
That sounds good. We got LAFC at home. I haven't seen them play yet, so that's just kind of one of those I just need to check off.
Are we here or in Nashville? I can't remember.
Yeah, we're here, I think.
Nice, and there's only one. Now we got to take it to them then. That's a must win.
Yes.
Jason?
I would say the away hell is real. at Columbus, and I didn't get a chance to see the stadium last year. So
Oh, yeah.
Looks like a belt buckle.
yeah, I'll go.
I missed out on that one.
I'll go check it out. So
I got COVID that week.
If-
oh yeah, that's right.
If it is,
Had 4 weeks
here's
ago.
my tip as somebody that went. If it is 90 degrees or warmer, do
Don't go.
not go in the second deck. It is all that black roof looks cool, but anything from that second deck to that black roof is
Just an
misery
oven.
territory.
Yeah.
All right, real quick, guys, make sure to get all your raffle tickets in, buy your memberships, get pictures with FCC Gary.
Yeah, go
Hi,
get
FCC
Gary a
Gary. Love you, pal. All right, guys. Before we get out of here, I want your prognostications.
Yeah, buddy.
Are we going to have another wooden spoon in the Queen City?
No.
The correct answer is we better not.
It's actually pretty hard to win a fourth wooden spoon. It's
was
pretty
super
hard
hard.
to
It was
win
hard to
three
win
in a
three.
row.
It was hard to
Yeah,
win
yeah.
2.
Statistically, we are unlikely.
3 was quite the feat.
All I'm saying is I will build a statue to Pat Noonan if he can make sure that that doesn't happen. It might be a wooden statue versus a bronze statue, but we'll do something for him. I think we're probably going to be I think we have a chance to be fighting for the playoffs at the end of the year if we get a true 6. Is that a realistic expectation this year?
No, I'm
Yeah.
with you there.
To be in the conversation.
I think we talked about this back in, I think, December, November, at the end of the season, whatever. I said, if we can just be playing meaningful soccer
Yeah.
in the second half of the season, can we just do that? And I think we will.
And I think Cincinnati will reward you too. No, fans, you got a chance there. Fans are going to turn out and
Yeah, absolutely. Oh,
Big
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what they say when you get a new kit, you win championships. So, guys, I appreciate your time here. Real quick, give them everybody your social media and where they can find you.
Oh, find me? Oh, personally, you can find me at Jace the Ace 513 on
There
Twitter.
we go. Boston.
that Boston Keith, but at Cincinnati Soccer Talk is a much better place because that's normally where I hang out.
Bryan, Bryan Weigel, Weigel, if that's who you like. If you don't, Bradley Weigel.
At Jeremy Lance on Twitter. Those are both 2 names you should know how to spell.
Awesome. Get your Hellas reel. Get your raffle tickets. Get your pictures with FCC Gary. And most importantly, let's have fun in 2022. Thank you all very much. And we look forward to seeing you guys a lot throughout the year. Hellas reel. Have a good one.